Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drive-Thru. I'm your host, Tony T. We broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. We'll give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the Drive-Thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, is deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show here with us for today. All right, with us we've got David Racy with us. We got Brian Bittler, Javon Burtz, Matt Francis, and it'll be Rod Zawacki. All right, on the board tonight we've got Major League Baseball up here, that deciding seventh game. Also, we've got NFL Monday Night Football, NHL as well. So let's get this one underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Brian Bittler. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Pin. We'll bring Brian in right now. I think we're ready to start the week here, as we do here with Brian. He bookends the show. Brian, ready to go. Brian, what's happening?
I'm ready to bookend it. I'm ready to start a new, fresh week after just a so-so weekend. It didn't go my way, but that's how it goes in football. Sometimes you win on a last-second interception. Sometimes you win on one. So ready to get the week started with some college football on Tuesday.
Yeah, College Football Tuesday, as you know, our friends from Conference USA entertained us all of October. They got ahead. They got a month ahead of Maction. So Conference
used
USA
to be Maction, yeah.
Yeah, well, it still is Maction, but Maction usually comes in the start of October. But Conference USA.
I missed my Akron Zips.
Yeah, we definitely miss them. But what has happened now is Conference USA said, well, we got the month of October to ourselves. Let's take advantage of it. We're not going to. You guys love that midweek football, so it's been Conference USA, and a lot of these teams that we've seen on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and they continue on here providing content for us, and we like it. We appreciate it. Of course, Conference USA is the gateway for college football, because we see a lot of these FCS teams now going into Conference USA. Kennesaw State's one of them next year, and of course, there's still some more on the way. I'm hearing maybe Missouri State might be a team out there. They've been trying to get Villanova in there, but I don't know. I don't think Villanova wants to move. They take that next step up, but we'll see how it goes here. There's just too much money here in the FBS. But today we're going to be looking at Liberty in Western Kentucky on ESPNU on Tuesday college football. We see a Liberty favorite on the road, 5, total 60.5.
I'll tell you what, pretty interesting college football matchup here for Tuesday night as we see the Liberty Flames. One of my personal favorite college football teams visiting the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers come in off a bruising loss to Jacksonville State, but I think they're going to be over the moon motivated here to put an end to Liberty's perfect season. The line has moved over the last 24 hours. Last night when I looked at it, it was +4. Now 24 hours later, it's about 5 to 5.5. And I think waiting until game time, you're going to get the best number as we see the swarms of bettors here going on a road Liberty. Books have caught up to Liberty, I think, recently. 1 and 2 last 3 against the spread, while the Hilltoppers have covered 3 of the last 4. If you look at the rankings, these teams, offense and defense, Liberty does have a huge advantage as far as the numbers go. But if you look at Liberty's schedule, their highlight win was against New Mexico State. I think Western Kentucky's played a tougher schedule with South Florida, Troy, and Ohio State on there. I'm going to take the home dog here on Tuesday night. I'm going to go with Western Kentucky plus the points.
All right, Brian, now Western Kentucky plus the points here against Liberty. Yeah, Liberty now affiliated with Conference USA. When they were one of those independents, they had a little bit tougher schedule, but now you're playing some of these teams from Conference USA, and it's not the same 6-0 as you would see from other teams, no doubt about that. And of course, the issue here though was Western Kentucky is that run defense. Man, Jacksonville State just ran all over the Hilltoppers.
If I remember correctly, I think I had Western Kentucky in that loss to Jacksonville State. I was really just shocked. I keep going against Jacksonville State, and they keep proving me wrong. But hopefully Western Kentucky can step up at home. I think they knock off Liberty, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes here. Of course, they did have that scare against Jacksonville State in that first half, but then the Jacksonville State quarterback got hurt because Jacksonville State was giving Liberty a tough run there and for their money. And of course, they have wins on the road against Buffalo. Is a down team this year. Buffalo's usually been a strong MAC team, but ever since that coach moved to Kansas, it's kind of slipped the other way. FIU, they pounded them. Then Jacksonville State was a game where they looked a little shaky for the first half on the road, but then again, Jacksonville State's quarterback Webb got hurt, and then it just changed the scenario in the second half.
For sure. And I just, I don't have any confidence if you look at Liberty's schedule. And I think their best test of the year is going to come up here on Tuesday. So we'll see how the Hilltoppers, if they can actually perform well.
It looks pretty good for them, right? Because you got Western Kentucky, Louisiana Tech, Old Dominion, UMass. I mean, this is like, where's the loss going to come from? It doesn't look. This team could probably run the table in a weak conference.
Yeah, for sure. We need to get a little bit stronger there in conference USA. For sure.
Brian here on West Kentucky +5 here against Liberty. This one will have a start time here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Brian, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, on the board tonight, a lot of single games here from hockey, from Major League Baseball. We do have the 49ers facing here against the Minnesota Vikings. But tomorrow, change the picture. NBA starts tomorrow. We got a couple of pretty good games. Defending champs on the hardwood tomorrow. Warriors on the in action as well. Big hockey tomorrow as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
It's always nice with the NBA around the corner, another chance to fade the LA Lakers, but that's tomorrow, and we're talking about today. For me tonight, my best bet's in the NFL, my titanium play. While I didn't have a great week, and my titanium plays 9-3 over the last 12. So if you want my best bet winner for Monday Night Football, head on over to pickdogs.com. Pick that up for $25. Also have a winner in the big baseball matchup tonight, the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros. And I have early action for Tuesday college football up for tomorrow. So make sure you guys head on over to pickdogs.com and check it out. And I look forward to getting a lot of winners this week as we have football all week along with the NBA.
That's right, guys. Got over with Brian Beller over at Pick Dogs Premium. See the great results that Brian has produced here for you here in baseball. We saw a lot of baseball. Remember, the World Series begins on Friday. Will we or won't we have a Game 7 tomorrow between the Phillies and the D-backs? I'll ask Brian that. Will we or won't we?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, this morning I would have liked to have been on my hometown Phillies, but I just felt like there's way too much action on the Phillies and a lot of value on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was too much of a wuss to get on Arizona, but I think in the end the Phillies will sneak this one out by 1, but we'll see how it goes tonight.
All right, let's get the prices right now in game right now between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks to see what Brian thinks here. Right now, we're seeing the Diamondbacks favored -175. The take back here on the Phillies +145, a total of 9.5 in game.
What's the +1.5 at for the Phillies?
+1.5 here on the Phillies. So that means if they lose by 1, what do we got here on just the sides here? So
I'm famous for my +1.
Run the +1.5. You're going to be actually. It looks about you can shop and get the best numbers here. Actually, right now I've got -1.5 at +135 circa, and I'm seeing some +115. So it's moving right now. About +115 here with the +1.5.
That's where I would go. I'd go with the Phillies at +1.5.
Sorry, my mistake. My mistake. My mistake. Let's go back again. The +1.5 is -150.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit too steep to pay. I would just, for me, I would just take the Phillies on the money line lightly to come back in this one.
All right, Phillies money line to come back in this one. For
that might
Brian,
be the homer in me talking now.
+148. So you +148, +120. These lines are moving at every strike, every out. The lines are going to keep moving. So we're seeing a strike price between +125 and +152. Total sits here 9.5.
Sounds good. Hopefully the Phillies come back and get the W here.
All right there, guys. Get on board here with Brian Beller over at Pick Dogs Premium. And, of course, use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. You can also add another capper with that, 2-for-1 capper promotion. Easy, even greater value there. All right, Brian, have yourself a great evening, afternoon. We'll catch up with you again here later in the week.
Oh, yeah. Look forward to seeing you on Friday, Tony. And you guys have a good weekend. Good week, and I'll catch you at the end of the week.
See you at the end of the week when we have Game 1 of the World Series. All right, Brian Beller here on the drive, too. Let's continue on here. We'll go ahead and welcome in David Racy. You can catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in here in just a second. Catch his written work over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. So we'll get David Racy here ready to roll here in just a second. We got NFL coverage from David today. David, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just coming off a nice football weekend, and like you and Brian were talking about, football all week. There's nothing better than this time of year. No matter how bad the matchups are, it's good to have something on.
It's good to have something on better, exactly. We could be in the middle of July, right? and praying for praying for some sports, right? That's kind of how I look at it. Bad football is better than no football. That's how I look at it. But here we go. Monday Night Football here. We have one between the 49ers and the Vikings. Back-to-back road games here for teams. Both teams dealing with receiver injury. Here we got the 49ers favor on the road, laying 7, total 44.
Yeah, San Francisco's coming off that first loss of the season last week against the Browns, and they looked horrible. They were dealing with some injuries. They only scored 17 points, and they were only able to put up 215 total yards. And that's resulted in a lot of people talking this week about some of the issues San Francisco has, if Purdy can really play without all of his stars healthy. And I think people are forgetting this is still a very good San Francisco team. They're 5-1 on the year. They've really beaten up on 4 out of their 5 wins this season. And I like them here in this spot. The San Francisco defense is elite. They're only allowing 295 yards per game and 14.5 points against per game. So while the offense is banged up, the defense should be able to get it done here against a Minnesota team that is not great. And looking at this Vikings team, they're only 2-5. They have won 2 out of their last 3 games, which is a step in the right direction. But that defense is allowing 22.5 points against per game and 353 total yards per game. So defensively, the Vikings are not where the Cleveland Browns are, who San Francisco lost to last week. I think the San Francisco offense won't have any issue moving the ball against Minnesota. And Minnesota's without Justin Jefferson, who in a matchup like this, a player like that is so important because you're playing a great defense. You need that one guy that can just be a game breaker, and they don't have him today. So I really think the Minnesota defense won't be able to hang with San Fran, and then that 49ers defense is going to continue playing at a high level. So I like San Francisco, even on the road, to win this one by more than a touchdown.
All right, David says, go ahead and take the 49ers, lay the 7 here against the Vikings. Yeah, I'm always getting nervous when you got a team like the Vikings going up against a really good defense. And again, these one-dimensional teams against these good defensive teams, because the Vikings, they don't run at high volume. They're pass, and I get a little nervous when I see that against a really good defensive team.
Yeah, and you're right. They are pass, and they pass okay. They are pretty good at passing, but they don't run the ball hardly at all, and they don't do it very effectively. Oh, sorry, Tony. One second. Sorry, I got my son yelling down the stairs at me. But no, yeah, the Vikings are very one-dimensional. Cousins, we all know primetime Cousins is a little questionable. But just alone, Kirk is not bad slinging it around, but not having that complementary rushing piece is going to hurt them. And like I said, the San Francisco defense is very good. And a Vikings offense without Justin Jefferson is just not going to get it done. I mean, we saw them struggle last week against the Bears, so it'll only be that much worse this week.
Yeah, that's no doubt about that here. And I just want to get your take here, what we saw from the Lions last night. Did you expect you were worried? You expected something like this, right?
I did, yeah. I was on the Ravens, but I didn't think it would be as bad as it was. I mean, it was horrible. They didn't have a chance. Baltimore came out and jumped on them right away. There was nothing Detroit could do, and it really was disheartening because while I did expect them to lose, they didn't do anything offensively. They scored the 1 touchdown pretty much in garbage time. So it was disheartening, but I hope we can just flush the results, get on to the Monday night game next week against the Raiders and bounce back with a win. But definitely concerning to lose that bad. Losing that bad in the NFL is almost hard to do,
Yeah, and then of course it sets up here for a spot where they're going to be an angry team, when you get embarrassed like that. And you're going to get the Raiders coming into town with questions regarding their offense, questions regarding their quarterback. It was an awful showing last week, losing to a Bears team with a backup quarterback. So it may have been their QB2, their QB3, whatever it was. It was a backup quarterback. And you had Hoyer was in there. It was, they went with their backups as well. But it looks like the line opened here 7.5, but there's been money on Detroit in some spots. We're seeing 8.5 in spots. We're seeing 9s. We're seeing 7.5. So pretty early in the wagering, we're seeing a little bit of money dipped here on the home team next Monday night.
Yeah, and I do think Detroit bounces back with a good performance. This is a team that, I know the season's relatively young, but this is a team that Detroit typically this season has taken care of. Just not a great team, just a middle of the road. especially if backup quarterbacks are in play again. I do expect Detroit to win this one probably by more than 10 points, I would say. And I do think they bounce back. Like you said, they're going to be mad. They're going to be looking to put last week behind them. And I think they come out with a better environment, or a better pace of play, I should say. And then being at home is going to help, in the dome. In Baltimore, it was windy. The guys really, you could tell, were not comfortable. Goff wasn't comfortable. The receivers weren't comfortable on those deep balls. So I think getting indoors will be a huge boost for them.
Yeah, and a healthy Ravens team is very dangerous, right? We're used to seeing multiple cluster injuries on an injury report. As a Detroit fan, when you saw the injury report and didn't see too many Ravens on it kind of might have got you I got a little nervous seeing that.
Yeah, the injury situation was, it was almost not fair. I mean, Detroit had a lot of key pieces out. That secondary super banged up. And you could tell they looked silly. I mean, Lamar made that defense look just silly. Seeing Baltimore relatively healthy was definitely not the way to go. And still holding out hope. One game doesn't change the previous results. I still think this Lions team's pretty good, but it was a bit of a humbling thing for, I think, all Detroit fans to know, we're not perfect. We got a long way to go.
That's right. All right, so we go from David here from the Lions perspective. We got the 49ers tonight laying the 7 here against the Vikings. This one will have a start time here, 8:15 Eastern time. It makes its way over on ABC. All right, David, let's take a look over at Pick.com for tonight's action. As you know, we got a good start to the NHL season. We got single on the ice, but tomorrow's a lot of games. And, of course, the NBA begins tomorrow. Singles here from NFL, from Major League Baseball, NHL. What do you have going on over at Pick.com Premium?
Yeah, tonight I just have 2 plays. I have one play in that Game 7 between the Rangers and the Astros, and I have a play on the one NHL game. So just 2 plays tonight, but going forward this week, there'll be plenty of hockey action, plenty of college football. NBA, I typically wait a few games into the season, kind of get an idea of what teams are about, but there'll be plenty of action all week over at pickdogs.com, so head on over there and join me for the day, or join me long term. This is a great time to go long term with all the sports, kicking off here with hockey and basketball going along with football. So no shortage of plays from me over at Pick Dogs, and I look forward to getting some more wins.
That's right, guys. I get aboard here with David Racy over at Pick Dogs. Great start here. NHL season showing great profit over the last 7 days. 220 units of profit. Get on board with tonight. David's place up there, MLB, NHL. Or again, like a lot of you folks like to do, is get that 7-day pass here on a Monday. You get all of David's premiums play here for college football for week number 9, NFL week 8. We'll cover you here with that 7-day pass, and also all the NHL. Remember, the World Series begins on Friday. If we go to a Game 7 tomorrow, that's also part of it in an NLCS. So get on board with David. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. All right, David, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you next week. But everybody can catch you in written form over on the sites.
Yeah, over at pickdogs.com and sportschatplace.com. There's a free pick tab. You just click on that. You pick whatever sports you're looking for, and you can get a free pick in just about every single game. Hockey, basketball, and baseball are up the night prior, and football for college and NFL are up 2 days in advance. So head on over there. It's a great source of information, and you can get a free pick out of it.
That's right, guys. Check out David over at Pick Dog Sports Chat Place, and, of course, get on board with his premium plays. All right, David, have a great week. We'll catch up with you next week.
All right, I appreciate it, Tony. Thank you.
You as well, David. Racy here on the drive through. Let's continue on here. Time for some baseball coverage. We'll bring in Brad Francis. Catch him over at Pick Dogs. Maybe you can also catch his video series here on Pick Dogs with his parlay video of the day up on the channel. We'll bring him in here in just a second. I think we're set to roll here with David Racy. Sorry, not David Racy, with Brad Francis. Bring him in right now. Brad, what's happening?
Tony T, how we doing today?
Doing great. All right, here we go. 8 Eastern time. It'll be Game 7 of the ALCS. Rangers and Astros going head-to-head. We see the Astros favorite here, minus 125. We see the total coming in at 9 in this game.
Yep, I'm excited for this one, let me tell you what. But what I'm going to go with here, I'm going to take the Astros on the money line just for the first 5 innings, though. Historically, this should be a great spot for Max Scherzer, but I just don't like what I've seen from him lately. He's coming off that injury, and it's hard for me to believe that his recovery wasn't somewhat rushed. He looked bad in his last start against his Astros team, allowing 5 runs. On the other hand, Christian Javier has been an absolute dog this postseason. He's coming into this one with a 1.20 ERA in his last 5. And the reason I'm just going to take the Astros in the first 5 here rather than the full game is, I mean, we all know this Astros team just struggles to play at home, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't understand that. And also, Brian Abreu may not play in this game, which is one of the Astros' best relievers. So I'll take my chances with Javier continuing his playoff success and the Astros getting a Scherzer early.
All right, there we go here with Brad going Astros first 5 money line minus 125 here against the Rangers. Of course, you're trying to just leave the bullpens out of this one, possibly, right? And see what you can get here from Houston. Of course, kind of going against Scherzer, who hasn't looked good. This will be his second start off that long injury layoff with that shoulder issue, that sprain he had in there. And of course, we'll see how the bats how the bats handle this Scherzer tonight. And of course, Houston's been a team that's really had their struggles in their home ballpark, not just during this postseason, but throughout the season.
Exactly, yeah. And when it comes to Scherzer, it's hard for me to believe that just like one game, you get one game and then you're just back to normal. Like, I think it takes a pitcher a couple of games to get back to their normal form. So, I mean, he may be 100% when it comes to the injury perspective, but just getting into the flow of things, playing a huge spot like this after taking that much time off, it just makes you want to lean more into the Astros.
Yeah, that's how it looks like. All right, we have Brad here. Astros first 5 minus 125 here against the Rangers. I'll get your thoughts here on Florida State's head action this week.
Yeah, I'm loving it still. I mean, that game against Duke last week, they played us close until the end, but once that FSU offense gets going, it's hard to stop them. And that was a big game on our schedule. And from here, I mean, we got basically the toughest games are Miami at home and then Florida away. I like our chances in both those. We got Pitt this week, which is never an easy game, but I think we should get the job done.
Florida State, Wake Forest looks that way. Looks like going to be laying 20 on. Yeah, it looks like going to be laying 20 on the road in that one.
Okay, 20 on the road. That's a tough one. I don't know. I'll probably stay away from that line. I don't want to take Wake Forest, though. Let me tell you what. But 20 is a lot of points on the road. Yeah,
that's right. Florida State trying to eye in here. It does look like a good path for them, right? The way Clemson's have been playing.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and it should be interesting who we get matched up in the ACC championship game. I mean, UNC losing that game this week was very odd. So the ACC is just kind of in a weird spot right now. It should be interesting how it plays out. But I would say FSU is by far the best team in the conference.
As an FSU fan out there in the ACC, what's your thoughts here about some of these teams heading out there from West? You got Cal and Stanford, then you got SMU as well heading into the ACC.
I like it. I think it makes it interesting. It'll be interesting to see these. I never thought FSU would play SMU. That's just a matchup I never thought would happen, or FSU versus Stanford. So it's very odd. It's very confusing, but I think it should be interesting, and I'm going to enjoy these new matchups they're going to have on their schedule.
Yeah, and see if they make the West. Will they travel to the West Coast? But trust me, there'll be plenty of seats available in Cal and Stanford. They don't sell tickets very well over there. Will FSU travel out there?
Yeah, I mean, I assume at some point they will, but I mean, we're the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's weird that they brought teams from all the way over there. It just, like I said, it makes zero sense to me. But college football is a weird place when it comes to their conferences. So it's just the wild, wild west.
Yeah, they're gonna have to change it to the Pacific Atlantic. I don't know, or Atlantic Pacific.
Yeah, they're gonna have to change the name because right now
APCC. What's APCC or PACC? What sounds better?
Honestly, neither, Tony T.
Neither of them, right? All right, there we go. There we go. Brad here on Astros first 5 money line minus 125 here against the Rangers. This start 8 p.m. Eastern time over on the Fox. And you guys should have multiple TVs by now. Okay, this is 2023. I know NFL going. You're gonna at least have both these firing up, or either on a laptop or a phone. All right, Brad, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Pin for tonight's action. Of course, football on the board tonight. A good start to the NFL season. Singles from MLB as well as from NFL. Of course, we're looking forward to the start of the NBA tomorrow. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, for right now, I just got my NFL play up there. $15 on the site, so a great deal there. But man, I'm ready to fire off on some NBA, so it's a good time to drop or get one of those 7-day passes. I'm hoping to start this NBA season off as hot as possible. So yeah, the plays, the quantity of plays will be picking up.
That's right, guys. Again, we're with Brad Francis over at Pick Dodge Premium. Just starting in the NFL. A good time to get on board with that 7-day all sports pass. Get all of Brad's premium plays for the 7 days. All his NFL, which begins Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and of course for Sunday as well. And of course, college football, week 9. All the plays are covered. NHL, World Series begins Friday, or we might have a Game 7 tomorrow with the Phils in Arizona. That's also part of the 7-day pass. NBA as well. full week. They just, they start with 2, then they hit it with high volume Wednesday and Friday. So we're ready to roll here with the NBA. Remember the promo code PICKET, check out. You'll save that 15% off at multiple cappers with the multiple capper promotion, saving you more money. All right, Brad, as always, great having you on the show. Have a great week. We'll catch up with you at the end of the week. But let everybody know that we can catch your video series over on Pick Dogs.
Yes, sir. Dropping the parlay videos every single day. So drop them before the day of the game. So be sure to check those out on Pick Dogs YouTube. Let's win some parlays.
That's right, guys. Check them out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when Brad videos drop, you get them right away. All right, Brad, have a great night. We'll catch up with you at the end of the week.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Have a good one.
As well, Brad Francis here on The Drive, dude. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, we're going to go ahead and welcome in Javon Burtz. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We're going to go some college football here with Javon. Our first early look here at the college football card coming up here for Saturday. It's going to get, now here we're getting into the late October, and it starts to get really, really interesting now as these teams jockey positions for conference championships, for postseason, for playoff posturing. A lot happening here. Teams having to win big to try to get back into the picture. They need to make style. They need style points and so forth, as you know, with this system that we have right now in college football. But let's bring in Javon in right now. Ready to roll with Javon. Javon, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to this week. NBA beginning tomorrow. That's a little bit more volume here on the show, which we'll like. But we're going to Saturday college football here. FS1, early start, noon kickoff. UCF here. Close call. Almost got it done against Oklahoma. They're going to be hosting West Virginia here. UCF 6.5, total 59.5.
Yeah, this is big 12 action. Step up in class for UCF. All those years they were talking about, how they could step up in class, with the big boys, and that one season where they went undefeated. They they commissioned their own flag with the 12-0 or whatever it was, undefeated season. Well, it's not that easy, right? 0-4 in Big 12 play. They did lose a nail biter to Oklahoma, but it might be deflated in this one. I'm on the Mountaineers in this one. They've lost 2 straight, themselves, and I just can't wrap my head around laying points with a UCF team that's taken 4 L's in a row, in against mainstays in the Big 12. It's really just that simple. They are at home, but like I said, they just lost a deflated game, a game that possibly they should have won. Now they got to go in and play a Mountaineers team, a West Virginia team who, they love to run the ball. Now Garrett Green, he's nothing to write home about, as far as quarterback for the Mountaineers. But neither is John Reese Plumlee. Neither of these guys throw the ball efficiently. So what these teams do, they do run the ball. But I want my money with a team that can take advantage of the opposite team's weakness. And the opposite team's weakness, UCF, yeah, they can't stop the run. They're 112 in yards per rush, 4.8, and I think that West Virginia might be live in this one. It might be next week that UCF gets their win. When they play some of their old Conference USA mates that came over with them. Houston and Cincinnati. So I'm on West Virginia plus the points.
There we go. We got Javon here on West Virginia plus the points. You can get the +7. Believe it or not, this is the sharpest book in the world at 6.5. So the sharps are on the West Virginia side. A lot of the square books still showing -7. So if you shop, you should have no problem getting +7 right now here with West Virginia. As you mentioned, right, the old AAC teams having some difficulty when they're stepping up in class here against the big boys in the Big 12. And, of course, BYU as well, although they got it done last week. But, man, their offensive numbers are trash, this BYU team. When you look at some of these teams that's stepping up in class, a good indication, go back and watch that Houston and TCU game a few weeks ago, man. You can see the difference there just in body size. And, of course, the defense. In the conference, in Big 12 play, UCF has given up, in their 4 games, they've lost all 4, they've given up 40 points a game and 479 yards.
Yeah, man, absolutely. There's something to be said, when you're dealing with a whole another class of athletes that you haven't tapped into yet. It's gonna take a couple years to, get the guys that you need to get in these big conferences, in the Power Four conferences. It's all well and good, when you're getting a 3-star recruits, the guys in the transfers who couldn't 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 muster it, over in these big schools. So they go down to these lower schools and they perform. It's a big difference, man. So it's gonna take a couple years for UCF. They'll get it done because they're in Florida. So there's a lot of talent tapped into that state alone. You know what I mean? So once they tap into these other states like Texas, like Oklahoma, like some of these states where they have football factories, saying in the high school level, then you'll see a team like that get into competition, especially when Texas and Oklahoma leaves, but as far as like Cincinnati, well, Houston, they'll be okay also, but like Cincinnati and BYU, they're gonna have a tougher time, getting the recruits to go to those schools. That's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, that's be a fact. You might get the starters, but when you start getting depth issues with your backups, you don't go to these schools. If you're going to be a backup, you're going to go to a Power Five conference, and of course that's where the depth is, right? So that's where your recruits come in and compete for the starting roles. And you're probably they're going to get playing time. And also too, note with Plumlee, Plumlee's a running quarterback, got hurt, didn't run much in that game against Oklahoma. So you got to wonder if that's messing with his head here. And they probably, you don't want that injury again.
Yeah, I mean, it's still he's probably not at 100%. Let's just throw that out there. And if you're not utilizing your core skills, and with him, he's a running quarterback, then you're really hamstrung. So, and I'm not really high on him in the first place. Once their last quarterback, who's over in Oklahoma, once he left, that was it for UCF, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yep, they just poached him away. That was Gabriel. Just went in. Well, there were coaching changes as well. But anyway, yeah, Gabriel going to the transfer portal over Oklahoma there. That team looking good, getting some defense now. But Javon here on West Virginia here, plus the 7 against UCF. And, of course, this one will have a start time here of noon on FS1. All right, Javon, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, as you know, Javon has a fantastic NFL season, 1,031 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dodge Print. We do have a play on the board tonight here from the NFL Monday Night Football. We have singles from NHL as well as Major League Baseball, that big game tonight here between the Astros and the Rangers. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, I got 2 plays going on, both sold separately. The NFL game, of course, and Game 7 of the ALCS. Should be a doozy. These first 6, they've been heavy hitters. This is a classic. It's gonna end off with a bang, I believe. So check me out on that. Check me out on my 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, yearly. Or match me up with one of the other handicappers for the 2-for-1 Capital Emotional. Can't go wrong here at Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Indeed. Get on board with Javon Burtz over at Pick Dogs. Great start to the NFL season. You see that 1,031 units of profit, all showing good profit here over the last 7 days. So get on board with Javon Burtz at Pick Dogs Premium. Make note here as well with the long-term passes. A lot of you folks like that 7-day pass. You can get on board with the 7-day pass. Get Javon's Premium place here for Week 8 NFL, Week 9 college football with that 7-day pass. Of course, don't forget the baseball playoffs. If there's a Game 7 tomorrow, so far it looks that way. We'll see if the Arizona can hold. Then we have a Game 7 tomorrow, and then the World Series starts on Friday. And of course, the NBA is in action this week, beginning tomorrow. And then we get that big card on Wednesday, the Thursday games, big Friday, the week. I mean, it's all these sports overlapping. Best time to get the multi-sports passes. Pick is a promo code, save that 15% off, right? Javon, as always, great having you show. Chris, we saw the Patriots notch a victory, but next week they go to Miami, and that's always a tough spot there. I don't know what the weather's like. It's late October, so we'll see what heat's an issue there. It's fortunate it's not in September. It's in late October, but right now I saw the line open at 10, And I see some Patriot money here because I'm seeing the line down to 9.5, and the sharpest book in the world, you're gonna have to pay heavy juices down to 8.5, 9. 8.5 now. So a lot of money coming on Patriots here.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is 1 week, and the bandwagoners are back on the path. You know what I'm saying? Yo, hey, listen, I was on the Pats, reluctantly at that, but I had to sit back and think about it, and I just said, yeah, this is a Pats spot, even though they, the previous 2 weeks were Pats spots also. It just, if Mac Jones doesn't have mistakes, then they have a chance to win because they have a good enough defense. It's just that simple.
Yep, and of course the defense will be put to test here with a Miami team on the road that plays well. Now, of course, we've seen Miami have trouble against the Buffalo Bills defense, Philadelphia Eagles defense. How does the Patriots defense match up against Miami?
Well, case in point, they played in New England earlier, and they handled themselves quite well against the Cheetah. Basically that's what you got to do. You got to stop Tyreek Hill first and foremost. And once you stop him, then it gets a little bit easier. But down in Miami, it's a whole different story because the Pats historically haven't been able to muster up a lot of wins down there, even when they were clicking on all cylinders. Give you a little update. It's 4-1. Arizona right now.
Wow.
Just knocked in another run, and they just chased Aaron Nola out of the game.
All right, so we're looking at a possible, so far I won't speak too soon, possible game 7 tomorrow. Of course, you got to sweat through the Arizona bullpen. Of course, Philadelphia is always a tough place to play. It'll be a big catch if they can get this one. Game 6 here in Philadelphia. A little bit of momentum for Arizona would be going in tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's a lot of baseball left. That's for damn sure. We all know how these games go. Get into these bullpens, anything can happen.
Yeah, if they put some runners on, we'll see how these Diamondbacks handle these high leverage pressure situations. If we get a couple runners on, we get and how they handle that. That we'll see how we get into the late innings. But yeah, it's Arizona up big here already here in Game 6, and we'll wait for the Rangers and the Astros later tonight. And of course, we had Javon Burt's here. Of course, before we let you go, your thoughts here on the Celtics as we start the season tomorrow. And of course, there may be an action here on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, because I think they're showcasing the West tomorrow for some reason. But anyway, we saw what happened to Philadelphia, right? The path might be a little clear here for Boston. Of course, Milwaukee will always be tough. How do you see Boston this season?
Well, I was skeptical about the Porzingis move. Well, not really the Porzingis move, but the fact that Joe Mazzulla was still the head coach of the Boston Celtics. But hey, they're all in on him. They're hanging their hat on offense, and they did shore some things up on the defensive end with Drew Holiday. So the way they're looking as far as preseason goes, they're looking like a well-oiled machine. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because it's right now preseason. The eve of the regular season. It's looking like a crash course in the East between Milwaukee and the Celtics. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be a crazy one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here as we get started here. No, the Celtics hit the court Wednesday, 7 Eastern time. They're at the Knicks. They're going to be favored here 2.5, 3, total 223.5.
Oh yeah, in New York, and I think that as far as the Knicks go, they have a lot of proving to do on the court. I don't know if those pieces really mesh well to take it to the next level, but this is opening night, and the Celtics are gonna get the Knicks' best shot.
Yep, and of course my memory serves me well in these road spots with rest. I think the Celtics have been pretty good. All right, they still their form holds away from home.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first game of the season, so rest shouldn't really factor into it because everyone has rest. This is game 1, opening night. Everyone has a chance. I've seen years where hell, I'll take it back 28 years or 27 years when 27, 26 years when the Celtics knocked off the Bulls opening night. And I believe that was 1997 or 1996, 1997. And and the Celtics were a bad team. All they had was Antoine Walker in that year. Antoine Walker, Ron Mercer, guys like that. You know what I mean? So, you could catch the team slipping game one. So 2.5, 3. It sounds a little light in
Yeah.
my eyes. You know what I'm saying? They might be trying to reel you in on the seas.
Already, right? They're trying to reel you in here. And Madison Square Garden, it's going to be a lot of pomp and circumstance opening night. The fans excited because the Knicks are no longer scrubs, right? They are showing signs of a team that a contender. Let's put it that way. I don't think a series championship contender, but a team that could get to make the playoffs and maybe get a series in. But all right, Javon, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again later in the week.
Absolutely. Have a great night. Win, and see you on Friday.
See you on Friday. John Burt's here on The Drive-Thru. Guys, you miss a pick. We always recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on The Drive-Thru. Time for Rod Zawacki. Cover the only game on the ice tonight. Bring him in right now. Rod, what's happening?
Hey, not too much. Just watching this ball game and hoping for a few more runs.
Yeah, Rod, you gave a live in-game pick on over 9.5 in that one?
Yeah, over 9.5 was the live 9. We were looking at it when Bittler was on, and we got one more run. So we're still in the fifth. Lots of baseball left in this one.
Lots of baseball left. We'll give you an up-to-date here line here on in-game live right now. Right now, if you think the Phillies can come back and win, you can get between plus 280 and plus 335.
Yeah, see that's all depends on what happens right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yep.
And it looks like they got first walked. So runners to the corners now for the D-backs here. 2 out, runners to the corners. Lorenzen's pitching.
Oh boy, we'll see. Yeah,
Oh boy, right?
The middle relief is not the strong suit for Philadelphia. By the way, it's really the weak suit when they're. Yeah, this is when it's tough. But anyway, we'll move on here to because this one begins about 15 minute starts here. NHL Network, your only game on the ice, Sabres and Canadiens. The Sabres, big favorites here, the total 6.5.
Yeah, big favorites here are these Sabres. Should they be big favorites? I don't know. That's I think that's a little bit too high to me. I think the old value's on Montreal, but we're looking at this one a different way. I like the total. I think you got a nice goalie duel on our hands in this one. You look at Eric Comrie's going to get his second start of the season. His first start, well, he beat the Islanders. They got to win 3-1. He looked great doing it. 1 goal against the average with a .960 save percentage. The Islanders got one late to burst the bubble. Otherwise, that would have been a shutout. 24 save performance in that one. Jake Allen, on the other hand, last time we seen him, he made a 31 save performance against Washington. And Montreal got the win in overtime. 3-2 in that one last time he was out. He's faced Buffalo a couple starts last season, made 61 saves off of 71 shots. So he is a little shakier of the goalie. That's why the line is the way it is. But this is going to be close. I like the under 6.5 as the play. I think both goalies come to shine in this one. As I said, Eric Comrie has been lights out for these Sabres. And you figure you might see some scoring. Well, I think we got an under. Both these teams got to play on a back-to-back spot. So I don't know if they go all out. They might hold a little bit and reserve some in the tank because they both got to still play tomorrow night. Take the under 6.5 here.
All right,
and they're giving us plus money for the under. I love it.
Yeah, a little plus money there on the under there from Rod here. Yeah, it's the Buffalo spot here is they play Montreal, and then they have to go on the road across the border and go into Ottawa, and they begin a road trip there into Ottawa here tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Sabres got to do, and then Montreal has to fly home to face the Devils tomorrow night. Not a good spot for Montreal either. Tough spot for both these teams coming up tomorrow. So how much they're going to put effort, I think they just want to get through this uninjured. And I don't see this getting to be a high-scoring shootout. Both goalies are solid. I think they're the ones that shine in this one. Get the under 6.5 at that nice plus 118.
All right, Rod says go under here. Canadian Sabres under 6.5. We always like to ask Rod here. The peripherals, we don't have anything on CFL yet. Let's see. Maybe nope, they didn't get the lines up. We have 3 games scheduled. But I'll ask you this, Rod. Anything stick out for you in the college football week 9 schedule?
You know what's out of me is you're going to give me. I like UNLV there, plus the points. I think it was a dead look ahead spot this week for this spot right here. When they roll in, they're going to get 8.5 points in that game. I don't like UNLV plus the points. It's 9 now.
9 now. 9 now. Yeah.
Right, see, everybody's just discounting UNLV, and you know what? They've been solid cover team all season long. I like them there, and I think you know what? At 9, I'm not in a hurry to bet it because it'll probably get to 9.5. It's already up to 9 now. You might be able to get an even better number, but I'm going to take UNLV plus the points.
UNLV plus the points there. All right, we'll see if there's any believers here. Colorado coming off the bye week here, going into LA to face UCLA. The temperatures are cooling down here. We're not going to have those 90-plus degree temperatures. We'll probably be mild around the mid to low 70s. So the temperature is going to be more like autumn weather out here. It will be it'll be around an afternoon game here in Los Angeles, 4:30 local time. But we got UCLA. Now, a 17-point favorite, total 64 here against Colorado.
And I like UCLA. I think they roll in that one, even at home in that one. And Colorado, we've seen that defense is definitely a sieve. And that UCLA defense is a bit better than what Colorado is. And Colorado's going to have a long day going against the Bruins here in that one. I think they get shut down. I don't know what the team total is at the moment, but I'd be looking in that direction as well. I think the Colorado team total under. I think they're going to struggle to score. They want to run the ball, and it's going to be tough. That UCLA defense is solid, and I think they run right over Colorado in that one.
Looking for Colorado. There. Of course, we'll look at this one. The big one in the Pac-12 will be Oregon and Utah going head-to-head. We saw this line open here at 5.5. The money's come on the road team, Oregon. Oregon going to be laying 7 right now, total 48 to 49.5.
Right?
Yeah.
Just disrespecting the Utes there in that one. And you know what? I would take the Utes plus the points. 4-2 against the number. I know the Ducks on the road 3-0 against the number, but that Utah defense is a solid defense. And you'll look, last season it was a 3-point game. Oregon got the win. Now you're getting a touchdown with the Ducks here. Utah's just as good as what they were last year. So give me the touchdown spread with the Utes in this one. They got a shot to outright the Ducks in that one.
All right, we'll ask Rod about this one. Oklahoma at Kansas, big 12 game here. Kansas the home team, but Oklahoma on the road laying 10 now, total 66.
Yeah, and you look at Oklahoma, they squeaked out a win last week, but were they looking ahead to this spot? I don't know. I would lay the points with Oklahoma. I think they are good. Their defense is solid. I think they bounced back after last week. They got the win, just win by 2. It was close, but I think they bounced back and win by more than that. That line seems a little bit light to me.
All right, there you go. We got the few from Rod. We'll talk more in the next few days. On record here, Canadian Sabres under 6.5, top of the hour start. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for nice action. Single games on the board here from NFL, from Major League Baseball. Of course, we do have the game on the ice. Rod on fire here. When you add them up in NFL and college football combined, over 1,300 units of profit for the year. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
In our Pick Dogs Premium tonight, I've got one play going. It is my Monday Night Football insider info. Scoop that up singly. I also have got an NHL hat trick going for tomorrow already up. Love tomorrow's action in hockey. Got 3-pack there you can scoop up. Or, as you can see, NFL and college football combined have been lights out for me to start the season. Looking to continue that. It's about mid-season, midway. So grab my mid-season combo pass where you get the rest of the NFL and college football combined for $5.99. Use that promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll get everything I going for the rest of the NFL, the rest of the bowl season, all the way to the championship and Super Bowl. So jump aboard. I think that's the best deal I got going for you this week.
All right, guys, got on board with Rise Back over at Pick Dog. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. Find the link to the premium site in the description. All right, Rod, as always, great having your show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
You as well. Definitely good luck with your bets tonight, and definitely tune in for the hockey videos. As I said, loaded card tomorrow. All the teams are in action. Like, subscribe, that way you get notified when those hockey videos get released. 16 hockey games, plus a 2-team parlay for you to want to check out. Definitely head on over and check out that content. as well as the wraparound and all the other regular talk. There's too many for me to try to remember to try to announce them all. So I'm not gonna try to announce them all, but definitely like, subscribe. That way you get notified when that content gets dropped, and you can get the best of the number with us.
Absolutely,
good night, Tony.
You as well, Rod. Let's got it. You got it. Rod Zawacki here on the drive through. All right, let's continue on with our coverage. Guys, you ever miss a pick? We always recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned. Let's continue on here on the drive through. Let's get to my pick, and then we will go here to the recap. And of course, we're looking at 8 Rangers and Astros. We're going to go under 9. It's a game 7. It's a big game. I think it's kind of a high number for this type of scenario. I think it's going to be a really tight game. These teams we've seen some scoring outbursts, but a little different spot here with the pressure on these teams. Max Scherzer on the mound. I do like him. I do like the fact that it is his second start off the injury layoff. So we're going to run with that one here. And of course, Javier has had some issues here, no doubt, in his payoff, but I think the bullpens will come in and keep it tight. I just think the scenario just again, it's a game 7, and I think we're going to see pressure-packed tight game here. So we'll go under Astros Rangers, under 9 here in this one. Check out Pick Dogs Stream. I do have a best bet on the board right now over at Pick Dogs Stream, so get on board with that. Remember my long-term pass. I have a 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. Get all my pre-and plays for that time period. So when you go over to my handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can add multi cappers with a multi-capper promotion. Even greater value there. Also note the Astros have not hit the ball well in their home ballpark this year. That's another reason why I'm looking under in this one. Of course, when you're in a situation like this in a game 7 scenario, all men on deck. You may even see starters come in. You could even see Verlander come in. I mean, this is the spot where you bring all hands on deck, and I think you will definitely have the matchups, the pitching matchups. Managers have everyone at their disposal. So if there's a right spot for them, that's how they'll roll. All right, let's continue on here on the drive through. We got that part of it in, so we'll go ahead and get the recap here tonight. Recap the plays from today's show. All right, let's hit the recap button. Let's find out. Brian was Western Kentucky +5 against Liberty. David was on 49ers, laid the 7 against the Vikings. David liked the Astros first 5 money line, -125 here against the Rangers. Javon said West Virginia +7 against UCF. Rod was on Canadian Sabres under 6.5. I'll be Astros Rangers under the total of 9. I made some notes here. Let me see what I typed up about some of these games. Let me see which one I like the best here. 1 second. I want to be researched with this selection on the one that I like the most of these two. Let's see what did I write here. All right, which one do I like the most out of these 2 games? Got West Virginia, and we have the UCF game. Oh boy, what do we have here? West Virginia going with that player, huh? So we will look as far as the one we like the most. We will take the West Virginia team +7, the one I like the most. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition here of the drive-thru. Make sure you guys tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers here from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. They'll give out their plays free here on Tuesday. A little bit more inventory. If there's a Game 7, Phillies and Diamondbacks, that will be on the board. 2 from the NBA, full card from the NHL, couple from College Football Conference USA in action. So lots of content tomorrow, guys. So make sure you tune in and to the show. Make you like, subscribe, set notifications. So when we're live, you're live with us. Get the plays in real time. Get the best numbers. And don't forget, always get started with that morning show during the week, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. You got Mitch, you got Chris, you've got Jay. You also have the wraparound here, NHL wraparound here with Chris. We've got the NHL video series from Rod. Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting Tools show here from Mitch. Of course, his professional roundtable discussion. We got Ron Romanelli with his college football and MLB rundown. Jay with his NFL rundown show as well. Brad Francis parlay video, and we've got more and more content here on the channel from all the cappers contributing here on the show, with Mills with his UFC rundown as well as his prop video. Mike Davis first 5 and his live shows will be returning shortly, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so keep an eye on that as we start NBA season tomorrow. So lots of content here on Pick Dogs. And of course, Big L's All Access. Check that video, free pick from L, and find out more about his All Access package. All right, that's going to do it for this show. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. Let's bring in our cappers from tonight. We'll bring them in. We'll wake up. Guys, you guys have a great afternoon.